All right.
All right, and we're live.
We are. Yes.
Yeah.
Barely
live.
I got the Monday posted out. I got I got.
So it is Monday.
It's Monday. It's a holiday. Today's a holiday, right? Like it's. I think it's what Juneteenth. Yes. Which I didn't even know about, and it was a good thing that someone had mentioned it because I was about to go to the post office today. Oops. This is how I find out it's a holiday.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize it was okay.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a federal holiday. Yeah, that's the thing. So
I'm behind.
Well, yeah, me too.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Apparently, it is Monday, June 20th, 2022.
Allegedly.
And we are going to play this intro. We'll be right back.
Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the Craze! Making moves on your own. Catch the Craze! On your grind in the streets. Catch the Craze! Join the movement. Catch the Craze!
How? And boom.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we are. Yes, and a shout out to Sam who did his first fan expo this weekend in Texas.
Ooh.
So he's beginning to do all the Texas comic book convention circuit since moving there. So congratulations, you seem to have done really, really well. So yes, so all the love from here, from over here on this side of the internet. So welcome everybody to another episode of the Ragin to the Vlogs show. And we're still kind of waking up and trying to get ourselves together here. We gotta I'm still a little overwhelmed that we're already like not even 2 weeks away from the end of the month. Like it just feels like I just did my to-do list for June yesterday. So oh boy. So welcome everybody to another episode. So who's in the chat today? The chat's already jumping. Who's in there? Oh, we lost you, Nita.
I gotta get back over to him. I'd gone to Brandon.
Oh, there
we
go.
All right. Here we go.
So who's joining us today?
Okay, well, because I bounced out, it came back, and guess what? I only see right now. I can see Pops, Marvy, Bristolian Dave,
Bristolian
user, and Glenn Fleming. I know
hello.
Mike was in there. I know Michaela Jade was in there, and
I see
that's all I
Frog
see right now.
Yeah, I see Frog G hopping in. I see Carl. I see Joe. Hello.
Well,
yeah. Okay, here we
party over here.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to start out. We're all trying to wake up this Monday. Hello, Glenn. Yes, I'm on my to-do list today is to finish the cover for your Comics Unlimited magazine. I have the article finished, believe it or not. I just have to finish the cover, put all the artwork together, and I will send that out to you for you to publish at Georgia Ray. So welcome. And yes, 13 people, mystery viewers watching us as well. Hello.
There they go. Now the list comes up.
There we go. So 13 people, mystery watchers watching us. Come on over. Come on. It's join me. I know you're shy out there, but maybe you're shy because you don't know who we are. So let's get to the introduction. So hello, my name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist and illustrator. What else am I? I'm a comic book artist from New York. It's Monday. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, so I kind of sort of know what I'm talking about. And I am known for the fun animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which is currently on Kickstarter. We broke 2,000 over the weekend. So happy with that. I haven't looked at the campaign yet because I try to not drive myself crazy. So I'm pretty sure we're still over 2,000. So head on over to Kickstarter and support the book there. And I'm also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is also on pre-launch on Kickstarter. That campaign goes live August 22nd, 2022. So make sure you sign up, you hit the pre-launch to get notified whenever when the campaign goes live in August. But it's all about Tall Tales right now. So so in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWRKS. And you can also check out all my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lager, which is also simulcast through the Ragin 2 network. And yes, mystery viewers from regions beyond, come on over to the channel, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, get notified whenever any of our wonderful shows on the network goes live. And join our sexy people in the chat. We have the sexiest chat you can join and talk to. I mean, it's like, it's like a whole other show going on over there. So, so come on over and join us. And Nita, so tell the peoples who you are.
My name is Nita Lanning. I am a writer, vlogger, blogger from Southeast Louisiana. I am CEO and executive producer of the Ragin 2 Broadcast Network.
There you go. She's the boss lady. She's the boss lady, rap god who runs the joint. So be nice to her or she'll kick you out, not allow you in the VIP area. So before we get started, you said we have special guests today later on in the next half hour at the half hour mark. But let's get a little housekeeping done before I throw some little thoughtage out there before we speak to our guests. So what do we have on the housekeeping list there, Nita? Yes, that's right. We have the Oswald Chronicles, If I Were a Few Inches Taller, the new series from JD Calderon, who will be launching this Friday with us. So it's on pre-launch now. So make sure that you click the notify me button so that you get notified the second the campaign goes live. He has some nice goodies for the first few people who pledge physical tiers on that first day. So so make sure you don't miss out on anything. So like I said, this is the first. This is another. I think it's a 4-issue limited series. And this is for, I think, the first 2 issues. But we will definitely get more information this Friday. Links are all in the show notes. Yeah, links are all in the show notes. So hit that notify me button. So that, and House of Bob already, I can't believe this. We already coming up to the last Saturday of the month, which means another House of Bob drawing night stream. It's where me and Nita have conversations about topics not quite appropriate for the morning crowd, while I draw artwork that is definitely not appropriate for the morning.
But we haven't been banned yet.
Exactly. They haven't stopped us yet. This will be what, our 4th episode?
Sure will be.
Right now. Yes. So if you want to know what these are like, it's pretty much an adults only version of this show. We're just talking, having a good time, chatting.
This is an adults only version of the show.
Right. Yeah, the adults only version of the show. Yeah, we actually found some adults to be on the show. God forbid. So join us this Saturday night at 10 p.m. to midnight, where the topic of the episode will be our favorite dirty comics that got us on this road to hell.
Comics.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and speaking of comics, speaking of fulfilling your campaigns, save 5% on your next Gemini mailer order with our coupon code Ragin2. Get those Gemini mailers. Send your comics out in style. And it's funny. It's like I keep hearing that for some reason Gemini mailers not quite being affected by the paper shortage. I keep hearing that people are having a hard time getting boxes and whatnot for things, but not Gemini mailers.
Nope,
so
they're on their game.
That's a sign. So use our coupon code for that. Also, if you want to ask us a question, have a comment, or if you have a topic you want us to talk about on the show, email us at raginabc@gmail.com, where Nita will sort out your questions and throw them back at us ourselves, so that we can answer. We will. Try us.
Maybe.
It's like, who knows what we'll say? Who knows? Oh my goodness. What a weekend. What a weekend, Nita. I mean, like I said, so what have you been up to this weekend? Just
cleaning, organizing the office. That's why everything's all in disarray. I've got a new HR back
here.
Oh,
yes, exactly. We have filled the new HR. We have filled the HR position. Her name is Umbra. Oh, very nice, very nice. She's, how old is she?
Like 10 weeks old.
10 weeks old, completely unqualified and perfect for the position.
And I'm sure she'll be making noise in a little bit. So
right, that's fine, because she too has memoirs to write. You see, what it is that Dublin had passed on the book of Hamster, and now she has to fill in the next chapter. So, oh my goodness.
Rattling.
But I mean, holy crap! It's like I'm still looking at my list here of things I need to do, and it's like, holy crap. Like, he's there somewhere. He's there somewhere. PR department. He only chimes in when he has something important to say. So yes, thank you. So I still have my list to go through, and although for everybody who is on my commission list, waiting list, I'm just finishing up a couple of things soon. For the end of this month, and I will be going through my commission wait list to get through, everybody who says, just call me when you're ready. Call me when you're ready. It's like, I'm almost ready. I have my sketch covers I have to color. I have Glenn's stuff that I have to finish. I still have to color correct the Oswald and Eagle Raven short that everyone is very patiently waiting for. I do have to thank all of the people who support us on Kickstarter. You guys are the best. You're very patient. You understand what's going on here. I know, right? There's adults here. Since when? Just getting through this list. I know, for really. It's like, that's what I keep hearing. That's like, oh, if you want, if you want to buy like regular boxes, you can't find them. Gemini mailers, it's like you're flooded. You can get all the Gemini mailers. Well, Mike, Jimmy, between you and Nita, where's your book? It's along with all the other books we're going to be mailing out to you in your giant boxes. So, yeah, definitely, we're filling your boxes up. Your subscription thing that you get, Kickstarter subscription that you got. So yeah, that will be coming soon. I just have to finish up all the sketch covers, and I'll be sending out everybody's packages. And I just want to say, Mike, Jimmy, and Nita, stay tuned for your sketch covers.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time. I hope it makes the wait worth it. Let's just say that.
Oh.
Yeah. So also for everybody who's keeping track, today's word count on the Eagle Raven novel is 41,752 words. I am wow. It's like oh yes, that's right. CromCon is next weekend as well. I mean, yeah, it's like that's the thing. I mark my months now with House of Bob and CromCon.
Yeah, we've got a bump for that. It's coming up before our guests arrive.
Exactly. Yeah. So I speaking of bumps, oh no, Jay. Yeah, I know. It's like, so what time? Okay, so if it's 10 o'clock here, what time is it? Really, I mean, it's like you can't get a more furry novel than that, isn't it? Coming soon.
Einstein approves.
Exactly. So I had reached another roadblock in the story, in the novel. And it was taking me, I was like ruminating on this for days. I could not get through this. And I did something. It's like, you know that whole thing, do the one thing that scares you. Oh my God, Jake, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. So I did the one thing that scared me when it came to the novel. I asked JD for advice.
Uh-oh.
And because I had to, I was just way too stuck. I was just way too stuck on this novel. And what it was that I have this scene that if I was doing it as a comic book, I could see it clearly. But it's a prose novel. So I'm sitting here trying to my words are gone, as Meredith, would say. It's like, oh, where'd my words go? So it's like, okay, I have to go to writing Pope for this. I have to get a blessing. So I asked him about it. And honestly, it's like, look, I don't know why a lot of us independent creators have this problem. We talked a little bit about it on Friday. It's like, why do we have such a problem really talking about our stuff? I mean, it's like, we're doing these comics, we're doing these books, but then it's like when it comes to even self-promotion or whatnot, it's like all of a sudden we kind of choke up at like needing to talk about our work. I mean, just me being able to talk this much about Eagle Raven, just to talk about the Kickstarter, is kind of like, it took me a bit to get just to that point. Like just saying her name out loud, that took me a while to do, because I had there was like, I've been working on this story, the whole Eagle Raven story, since like the late 90s. And only in the last 2 years have I been able to say it out loud, to say her name out loud. Like most of the time it's just, it's just all in my head.
Right.
So this was like the next level of that, because I had to explain a scene. I had to put the entire scene in context for Jose to help me, which, and it's like, oh shit. It's like, okay, so here's, and I just choked. And it's like, holy crap, I have to say Eagle Raven's name out loud. I have to say Daniel's name out loud. And I have to say Loki's name out loud. And I have to explain the scenario out loud. And it was just really, really hard for me to get to, but I needed an answer. So I had to fight through it. It's like, get over myself. I had to get over myself. And I had to talk about my work to JD in order, for him to help me with this. And it was really funny as to like, I give him a little bit, and then he starts throwing, honestly, I think that has a lot to do with it. It's like, it's that fear of just like immediately being told, why are you being stupid? Why, that's stupid. Why are you doing that? Right. But when I kind of like was reeling out, right. Yeah. I know, right? When I was kind of reeling out the information, JD started asking me more questions and started, started like giving little tidbits of ideas. And I'm like going, and the more he did that, the more I wanted to talk about the book, wanted to talk about the story. And then it's like, within like a span of 20 minutes, I went for, they do. Yeah, exactly. Fight. Yeah, exactly. So within the span of 20 minutes, it went from, oh my God, you're going to think my idea is stupid, to I need to talk to you more about my work. So whatever fear that I had, just because he was actually thinking about helping me solve my problem, and he was coming up with all these scenarios and asking these questions, and I was just like absolutely thrilled at that. And I guess, I don't know, it's like, so because of this conversation, I was able to finally kind of break through this wall that I was like keeping me from going forward in the story. And I think, I think it came out in a way that I want, that I like enough that I can continue past it now, that I don't feel like I'm stuck anymore. But definitely it kind of helped me overcome my future fear of having him read the story. So maybe. So I'm still kind of like nervous about that. But isn't that like kind of a drag? It's like you get so used to like just saying something and people just immediately going, that's stupid.
Oh yeah.
Although technically, if you ask Jose, it's like that's how the Oswald Chronicles happened, because he claims that I did that to him, and that's how I wrote Oswald Chronicles out of spite, because we were walking, and mind you, I do not remember this at all. I don't remember this conversation happening the way he says it does. But this is the story he sticks with, and it's like and every time he says it, I feel like, how in the cartoons they turn into a giant heel. It's like I feel like such an asshole. I mean, it's like, and so I don't know if either of us are remembering it correctly, but it's like when you're both on it. But yeah, we got shit to overcome. That's what it is.
I think we all do.
I know. So that's that's kind of so technically, I know. Like I said, it's the story he keeps saying. I keep telling him, Jacuz. It's like, I'm always doing that, because it's like I said, I don't remember the story like that, but he claims I told him that's stupid. And even me just saying it right now, it's like, God damn, I'm such an asshole. What the fuck?
Daphne, crusher of dreams.
I know, for real, right? And here I am, absolutely terrified, terrified that that's exactly what he's going to do, to turn around and do to me. And it's like, only to find out, it's like, no, he's just going to actually give me advice like a normal person. So. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so I learned I learned something this week. something this weekend. That when we're creating stuff, when we're doing our thing, we really do kind of have to get over ourselves in order to push through those blocks. And do the scary thing sometimes. It's like, it's like, yeah, is there a risk someone's going to say your shit's stupid? Always. Even apparently, even me talking shit on this show right now. But the thing is, though, it's like, if it wasn't for that conversation, I don't think I would have been able, I wouldn't have gotten through the, I agree that I was more afraid. And I think that that's a lot of it too, that it's like that we're kind of like, even though we're on this journey of creating our own books and creating our own stuff, that there's a certain thing in us that we don't want to believe that we're doing it. I mean, if that makes any sense, it's like, it's more, it really is. It's like kind of like an us problem rather than an outside problem. Because in the end, what does it matter if someone says your stuff is stupid? In the end, it's like, what does that really say? Does that say more about them or you? Why it's like this, this I know for sure that Marcus Aurelius had commented on in his meditations, that it's like, what is it about other people's opinions that we hold them above our own? That's the thing. So it's like, so even if he had said that's dumb, would it have gutted me? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, would it have really made me decide, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore? I don't think it would have, any more than me allegedly saying that the idea for Oswald was stupid didn't stop him from writing the Oswald Chronicles. In fact, claims that was the catalyst, because I had challenged him. Allegedly. Allegedly. Like I said, I still debate this story. So that's kind of that was kind of the thing. It is irrational. Like what is it about ourselves that we're afraid of, that we're able to tell a story that people care about, that we're able to do something that entertains people, that we enjoy doing. It's like, is that what we're afraid of? It's and it's kind of tough, and it does get in the way, because it's like, it's kind of funny how so many of us have this this thing, this thing about ourselves, where it's like, we're very self-conscious, and this imposter syndrome. It's like, oh, people don't really like us. They're just faking it for us or whatnot. And which it's all irrational. But in the end, it's like, does it really stop you from what you're doing? I mean, granted, there are people who it does stop. Can't save them all, I guess, But I mean, but for the rest of us, we're obviously doing it. I'm doing it. Joe's doing it. Mike Jimmy's doing it. John Celestri's doing it. We're all making our copies.
Still doing it.
Exactly. We're all, Jake is doing it. It's like, because it's like the fact, it really is. The fact that we're still doing it, what are they doing? The people saying that it's okay. All right, you said it's stupid. That's fine, but I'm still over here doing it. Right. So like, okay, in the end, right? It's like, that's kind of that's what it boils down to. So everybody, fight your fears. Face your fears. It's okay to look stupid. I guess, because it's the only way we can get over that hump. and push forward. Like I said, I risk hearing that's stupid because I was more desperate to solve a problem than, so, and it worked, so, that's the message for today, that, yeah, get over yourself. Get over yourself and get your goddamn work done. Just do it. Nobody else is doing it but you. Exactly. So we're just hitting the half-hour mark. We have our guest in the green room waiting to come on. So why don't we show some love, and yeah, we'll be right back.
Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo Kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
Come get some.
That will wake you up every time.
Really, it really does. So welcome, Mr. Dan, to our humble abode. We vacuumed. We used the HEPA filter on it, so so hopefully it's all nice and comfortable for you. So welcome to our show. So why don't you tell the people who you are?
Okay, mic check. Can you guys hear me? First of all,
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. My name is Dan Evans. I am creating a comic universe with my friend Josh Adams. I write it, he draws it. We've been on this for about 10 years now, but have finally been able to get it off the ground because, life happens.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, just like we were talking about before, it's like, you're just pushing forward no matter, what gets thrown at you, So you work for Legacy Comics.
Correct. That's our publisher, right, who we signed with.
Yeah, and what is the book that you're working on right now?
The first book is called Apollyon 20XX. We have the issue 0 completed, and it's up for pre-order right now. The volume 1, which will be 150 plus pages, is out spring 2023, and then we have another book called Biophile Kolga, which will be out in the fall of next year.
And you just recently, well, I know that there was a Kickstarter that you recently did.
Yeah. Patrick Hickey Jr., the co-founder and owner of Legacy Comics, he did that with 4 or 5 of the titles before we joined, and actually I think it sold out or met its goal in like 4 hours, something ridiculous like that. So these dudes have been grinding really hard, and we happened to catch on at a really good time because the artist Josh Adams is friends with another podcaster that Patrick was. They were on together, and they just met, and 2 + 2 = 4, and here we are.
Right, and so this is the book on the screen that you are working on.
Correct.
Right, and are you going to do a separate campaign for this, or?
Well, we're hoping we don't have to do a campaign at all. Our goal is to. We have some things in the works that I'm not at privy to talk about, that basically we've got money coming in. So our publisher Legacy is able to preemptively purchase, and then we can distribute without having to raise funds. And that's how we'd like to keep it, so we don't have to. The biggest thing we want is we don't ever want to put anything online for people to buy that they have to wait for.
Ah, okay. So the thing is, but this is a pre-order.
Yeah.
Now, okay, is the book done, and
Yes.
you're just raising the funds to print?
Well, not even raising the funds. Like we're just seeing who could pre-order it, just put it up there. Yeah, it's gonna print. It's gonna go out anyway. We just thought it'd be fun to announce it for a month, build it up, because no one knows who we are.
Right. Okay. Well, the thing is, though, I was looking at your first Kickstarter, and honestly, for a bunch of guys who nobody's heard of, you did really well on your first campaign out the gate.
Yeah, and well, again, I can't take credit for that. That was all Patrick and his crew, and we kind of jumped on board and rode their wave.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, we're just here to leech. We're just here to leech.
No, we're here to collaborate.
Yeah, collaboration.
Yeah.
So tell us about your comic.
Okay. The biggest thing is that it is part of a massive universe called the Godfoe universe, which spans millennia. And this is kind of the entry point at the beginning of the time era that leads to bigger things. So, long story short, an alien metal has landed on Earth, a new element called Impera metal, which basically can bond with anything, and that's kind of what you see happening to that guy's face right there. Well, a group of powerful shadow government elites have taken it and used it to create most of the inventions we have in the 20th century, and in this era, the 21st century, of a near future from where we are now, they are trying to make a god machine, basically a machine that can control and influence the minds of every single person on the planet, but they need a human host. And what you have is the prime candidate running amok. He doesn't want to be a part of it, and he joins forces with some other guys that were chosen, and they are leading a revolution against this.
So, is there any examples of interior artwork that we can look at on the website, or
not on the website?
Oh, there we go. Okay,
the 3 pages I sent in the email.
Yeah. So this is.
And this is why I'm God.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I just get to play cheap ass Joe Rogan right now.
It's okay. I'm the writer. I totally get that. I don't do any work.
So what is your background? Because when I was looking at the website and looking at the team, I mean, there's a lot of big brained people wanting to do comics. So what's your background that brought you here?
Well, Josh and I are both musicians. We played in different bands growing up, and I started a band called Blue Bolt, and we wanted kind of like this big kind of Rush, Coheed and Cambria, Blue Oyster Cult story to go with all the big progressive music. So I started creating the Godfoe universe, and me and Josh spitballed for 10 years, and he's a fantastic artist, as you can see from the work. And one thing led to another, and life gradually got better and worse.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a given, no matter what. Right?
And then we're eventually reach an age where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Who cares? And that's what I liked about y'all's conversation earlier was, I mean, who cares anymore? Right.
Yeah. No, really. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like what you're gonna wait for approval from who? People who aren't doing anything. You know.
Yeah, what's the raging hashtag? Fuck them.
Yeah.
There's always somebody who can't. Well, that's a quote I think in one of our works too. It's like those who can't do undo.
Yeah, they really do. You know, it's like even if they see you doing it, it's like it's not enough to just leave you alone. They have to kind of like needle at you to get you to stop.
The next phase is to monetize those people.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Monetize the haters.
Yeah.
So what is so what is your background in comics? That like what it's like you're musicians, but now you want to do comics. Like where does that bridge come from?
My background in comics comes from failing as an artist at like age 7 when I couldn't draw a straight line with a ruler. so I switched to writing. I've always written a ton of stuff. Like we have a massive output. Like we got a novel in this universe that's done, and it's just you think, when you're outside of it, you think a comic would be easier because you don't have to write pages of prose. But then it's like, oh man, you got to draw this and articulate faces and all this kind of stuff. But it was, mainly just finding the right people. I'd always been trying to find artists my whole life to do something like this, and you find someone who doesn't suck, who's not going to steal from you, who's not a jerk to be around, and then you hold on to them. I mean, as cheesy as that sounds.
Right? No, for real.
No, I get it.
Yeah, we definitely get it. But the thing, so what comics did you grow up with? Like, did the artwork? That's the parrot, everyone. So that's PR chiming in. So, like, because obviously this book, like usually when we see people come into comics, it's like they always want to look like as much as like Marvel or DC as much as possible. Like they really
know why anybody would want to look like them now.
Right, exactly. So what kind of led you to this type of style, to have your books? I mean, that seems to be the case with all the books from Legacy, where they're very stylistically different than like they come off more like underground almost.
I can answer some of that. I can answer 100% for myself and some for Josh because we talk every day. We grew up, of course, we're mid to late 30s. So we remember Image being something cool. Even if the writing wasn't necessarily great, at least the art was. But the biggest thing, especially the McFarlane era of Spider-Man and Spawn, is that dude did not care about borders.
Right, yeah.
And again, sometimes his writing wasn't concrete, but at least the art could reflect that and be really cool and expressive. The biggest influences for us are that Image idea with the early 90s, late 80s manga articulation, like Akira. I mean, when we both read Akira as kids, it blew our mind that somebody could make jumbles of cables look cool.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I am a huge Matt Wagner Grindel fan. So that's where I approach things as far as writing goes. It's like that dude would write basically a play or a novel and just put images to it. But Josh, I mean, we grew up on the classics like Chris Claremont and Frank Miller, all those dudes, all the ones they still have to pay licenses to for the movies.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Because nobody buys the other stuff. But we really, in music, you spend. That's where we both come from, like predominantly music. You spend so much time learning your influences so you can do what you want to do, not so you can be like them. And that's
right. Yeah.
We don't hold contempt for, but like you were saying, even in the indie scene, a lot of guys are trying to basically redo Image, and it's like, man, if you're not McFarlane, you're not McFarlane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
there's already a McFarlane,
and nobody's Jim Lee. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's always I always appreciate people who kind of like, because to me that kind of shows that they're committed to the medium.
Yeah.
It's like that's like, okay, you want to do comics, you're not trying to do product.
Yeah.
Because you want it to look, a certain, a very specific way in the hopes that it kind of goes over,
Well, we could have put a near topless chick on the cover, but we didn't want to do that. I'm sure it would have sold a lot quicker, but
right. Oh, that's okay. So you've definitely been paying attention to everything that's going on.
Yeah, we have no qualms with anybody wanting to make money or make their art, whatever. We stay out. I'm gonna be honest. We stay out of the drama, especially.
Right.
I saw what happened this week between EVS and Iconic. I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
I was born and raised in the South. We don't care about anything until guns are involved. So.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good that's a good line to cross there.
Words are pretty much meaningless.
Right, yeah. That's an excellent line in the sand. Yeah, it's like the second there's a gun involved, it's like, okay.
Yeah, now it's serious. I am amazed personally that grown men get into to Twitter drama. Like, I mean, we've all trolled people on Twitter. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's outrageous, hilarious, you know. But
But
not
it's
when it
comic
involves
books
a
for
business.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like usually it's like I try to stay off of Twitter as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because even though it's kind of like we needed to self-promote, this
Yeah.
whole thing about being able to talk about ourselves or whatnot, but you have to know how to curate your experience so that you're avoiding a lot of the drama so that you can promote, right? And then also just to be able to avoid the chicken cutlets that the second I see, it's like I'm about ready to stroke out, I mean, I don't, sometimes I don't know what's going on with that place. So, right. Yeah, no, but that's, but that's the thing. So okay, so you're from music, writer, doing comics. Is there now you said that you also did a prose, I guess like a prose continuation or a prose addition to your comic?
Yeah.
So what made you do that?
If I don't, right, I'm gonna go super serious, real down, and then back up. So I'm gonna land it. Okay, so I apologize to the viewers. I gotta go to this dark place and then come back out. I've always been super creative, whether that's art is good or bad, doesn't matter. I have to output, and I consume all the time. Not like in a Disney Plus consume. I'm always whatever inspires me. I bring in.
Right.
Synthesize,
very good distinction, by the way.
There's a difference between consuming to make art and being a consumer.
Right.
But I'm 35. During COVID 2 years ago, I had my brother who was 40. We were pretty much the same person. Like, we had the same tone of voice, everything. You could have thought we were twins.
Right.
He took his own life 2 years ago. It was a long time coming. That doesn't make it any easier.
Right, yeah.
But after that, I decided that's not going to happen to me. I have a wife and a child. He didn't. And that's not going to happen. I'm not going to let that happen. And the main way to do that is to not go crazy by not doing what I want to do artistically. Because if I don't, it stays up there. You get crazy. You become a bad husband. You become a bad father, and you can become a bad person.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? Excuse the language, but fuck it. I'm gonna make stuff. And so I sat down, started getting up at 4 a.m, and finished the novel. Finished all this. We wrote this, which is the volume 1 that comes out will be called "Live Not by Lies." It is equivalent of 6 big issues, so it's going to be over 150 pages. We wrote Biophile Colga, which is going to be 12 issues, which is a ridiculous amount of pages. And Josh draws at an amazing speed, and we don't plan to stop.
Yeah.
So I get up, do everything I can, because the world's full of crap. It's like, and it needs less crap. You know?
I mean, both in, I guess like, in attitude, in art, and just, it's like, I really do think that creative people had kind of like an advantage in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken with a lot of artists, and we all seem to say the same thing. We actually blossomed in the last 2 years. We actually were at our busiest in the last 2 years. I mean, not to diminish what anything that happened, that's been happening and still happening or whatnot, we lost a lot of good people because of it. But, but the thing is, though, it was the complete opposite to us. It's like I started working on I don't think I've worked on so much comic book work in the past 30 something years that I've been at this than in that 2 years. I mean, I've never worked so hard at comics, except in that time. I mean, even now I'm just trying to keep up that momentum. And it's just funny to hear, you say this kind of the same thing, that it's like, it's like create or die. Right. I mean, it's like, and we weirdly ended up with the opportunity to really bring all that forward.
Yeah.
But I'm digressing a bit. But
Well,
so
it's my fault for
so did you find now the thing is though? So you wrote the novel because you just had so much stuff to come that had to come out of your head, that it wasn't possible to do as a comic, or it's just another piece of the story?
Well, let me explain the universe a little bit. So, our goal when creating all of this was tell a story that is millennia long, that is broken into eras, kind of like remember how Star Wars would retcon things, be like, oh, this is the what, that's not correct. Was like the High Order, Knights of the Old Republic.
Right? Yeah, it's like
nobody cares about the High Republic.
Yeah. I forgot all the legacy stuff that Disney ended up erasing.
So, all the stuff that Kathleen Kennedy said they didn't have to go.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But we wanted to break it into eras, so basically we can tell all kinds of different stories, and we can tell all these different entry points. So our goal is that anyone can jump in anywhere and understand what's going on, and if they want to be a part of something bigger, they can be. So the novel actually takes place in what's called the Black Star era, which takes place at the end of the Godfrey universe. This, Apollyon 20XX, takes place at the beginning. You can enjoy both of them, and if you want the bigger overarching scope, you can buy both of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
But so which do you prefer working in, prose or like comic? Because
comics. it's
wow.
From my end, it's so much easier. Like at least if I can get them. I just because I get up and I draw my crappy little stick figures here.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah,
okay.
that I send to Josh to make.
Oh,
good.
That's funny. That's funny.
So I can pump out like a 20.
Oh, hold on. Show that again, and we'll show you. So look at that. So there you go, everybody. You have no excuse.
Oh yeah.
Make it layouts.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, so I do that, and it takes maybe a few hours to put out a 24-page issue, and then I send it to Josh. He makes it pretty.
Right. Yeah. It just adds a little touch here and there.
Yeah. He just throws it in MS Paint and hits fill. So we do that, and I'll type up the entire script. Now I type up the entire script to Legacy's editing preference, so that Patrick can go through if he wants to edit anything.
Right.
And get it out, and that's so much easier because it took me like 8 years to write that novel.
Right. But the thing is though, because right now it's like I'm kind of in the opposite thing where I've been doing comics and I'm writing my first real novel right now. I've dabbled in prose before, and I'm kind of finding, it's not that I'm finding prose harder. I mean, it's its own different animal.
Yeah.
But I just really enjoy being able to get through a story faster in prose than I could have as a comic, mostly because I'm doing everything and I'm drawing and I'm
there you go.
So technically for me it's the opposite. Prose is technically faster.
I'm envious of anyone who can draw, so more power to you.
Thank you.
You got my respect.
So now the thing is though, is there are you thinking of kind of incorporating your music into this as well, kind of like doing a whole.
All of the albums are within the story.
Oh,
and
okay.
Actually, anyone who pre-orders this issue, this Ashcan, gets a free song from us that we're releasing the next.
Oh, so you're doing the whole multimedia thing. I mean, because it makes sense. You do the music, so might as well incorporate it somehow, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crossing.
Right. So you say that you like doing the writing for comics better, but it's is there something that prose offers that you keep going back to it?
Total control. It's a pain in the butt to be like, all right, instead of getting Josh to draw this guy, I've got to spend 20 minutes describing him. But then I can determine what happens in the story, and Josh actually helps me edit because he's also a writer. He's written some fantastic horror short films, or not films. I'm sorry, short stories. He did, I think, actually did write a film script once, but so he'll go back through and help me edit things. But I love being able to not have to. You got to be a little selfish as an artist, and you got to have that one thing that you have total control over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I'm tired all the time.
every artist wants to be a little god, and I get that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I don't. Well, in our case, I don't think it's we want to. It's just that we have to out of necessity.
You want to pay somebody on Fiverr to draw you something?
No, I think I'll kind of pass on that. It took me a while just to get somebody to flat my stuff so I can color on top of it better, but faster. But it takes me a while. Yeah, you know what? You're right, though. We all want to be our own little gods. I'm too. Now that I think about it, it's like I'm too much into that control. Although speaking of control, those layouts. So did you always mean to do your own layouts for the comics, or like you just I don't want to say you don't trust the artist to interpret your script.
That's not it. It's I've looked up, I've searched how to write comics,
right?
And I'll say this: I saw like some comic pros post their like how they write them, and it looks so pretentious. It's like Jim enters the building, he is wearing this,
right? And
I'm like, man, I'm not doing that. Like that would be more of an insult to an artist than me drawing crappy stick figures and being like, hey, make it good. So, no, Josh has 100% control, like vetoing power over how everything looks, because I send stick figures and he sends professional work. So we have a really great relationship in that we insult each other 24/7 and nobody cares.
That's the best kind of relationship.
Yeah. He's also bigger than me, so that helps.
Oh well, yeah.
But we just trust each other. That came from talking every day for 10 years about this one idea, and no egos. It's the same thing like with a band. It takes 8 to 10 years to find people who don't suck, and you have to be the one that doesn't suck the most.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to be the example to everybody. Yeah,
and that means eating a bunch of humble pie every day. It's being the one that fails the loudest.
Right. Well, that's exactly. It's we have to understand what our limitations are, and admit that there are people who might be better at us than us at doing certain things. Are there times where you send layouts to him and he says, you know what, I'm going to change this up. I think this should be something else.
Oh yeah, all the time. Or even better, and it's devious, but it works, is he'll just do it. And so it's like, what are you going to do, Dan? You going to draw it?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Here you go. Feel free to draw it.
Oh, that's fine. So in the end, it's like you're not like a stickler like Alan Moore, or it's he's literally drawing out the comic for them or whatever he does, and it's like you have to follow.
Right. There's a lot of things Alan Moore can do that nobody else can do, and that's grow a beard that length. And sit around and tell people how to do things they can't do that you were very lucky to do. And write a book, like an 800-page book called Jerusalem that nobody read.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And more power to him. I'm sure it's fantastic, but I'm not reading it.
Yeah, no, it's
We can't be Alan Moore. Alan Moore is very lucky to be Alan Moore. Because any other time in history, he'd have been like Nietzsche, screaming from a mountain, and nobody would be like, okay.
Right, and then it's like everybody randomly quotes him, but it's
but nobody cares. They're not paying that guy.
Right. But that's But I guess also in the end, it's like as a thing to everybody that it's like yes, it's like what we do has rules.
Yeah.
But they're really all just, suggestions, really. There's nothing really hard and fast about what, about like how we do things, how we create. We just have to do everything in the service of the story. And if it benefits the story, then you're doing it the right way, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. And there's kind of two sides to every art form, because I thought about this a lot, because I went to school for music and met all kinds of different people, and you've got creative chaos, and you've got technical order, and you have people that can excel in those things, like some people that can draw perfectly I guess what you would call perfectly, but there's nothing creative about it.
Right.
And then you have people that can sit there all day and come up with brilliant concepts, but their doodles look terrible, you know?
Right.
And you've got to know your weaknesses because very few people can do both of those things.
Right, yeah.
Very, very, very few people. I can't, right off the top of my head, think of people that can write and draw amazingly, like 10 out of 10, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually your concentration is either one or the other.
Yeah. And sometimes you get somebody that does like 5 and 5, and that's kind of cool. And I think that's where a lot of 90s comics came from. But I say all that to say, man, it's just like, this guy says more like guidelines.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's true. But no, like, what bothers me about comics, the same thing that bothers me about music, is you have a lot of people that are technically great, but the ideas seem really bankrupt. Right. And it's just, because you always find like a YouTube musician, like somebody that can do covers perfectly.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, Prince.
Right.
Prince is an example that could do both.
Yeah, well, he could do it. He could do it all. I mean, I think he
probably
learned
draw
how to
better
do.
than most people too.
Yeah, he probably could. Yeah.
But no, I think that's the. It's so much fun, like you were saying about guidelines, to take something and shake it up, and that's what comics need, especially indie comics, if they're gonna survive.
Yeah.
We need that dynamism.
Yeah.
It can't get stagnant, because it was a couple of years ago. You had these guys that were, and they were ex-pros, and they're fantastic. They're great artists.
Yeah.
And they rose to the top, and you have some that are coming up. But man, you've got to have consistent dynamism. As soon as it turns cynical, as soon as it turns to money and product, like you were saying, it's going to crash and burn because it can't compete with DC and Marvel on those levels.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Because they're already cynical millionaires.
Right. Exactly. And it's like, look, not everybody is going to get the Netflix deal, and even then, what you're really getting is the right to get canceled after the first season.
I want to run with that. I can now go to the store and pick out the comics that are Netflix pitches. Yeah. Because they have really long titles and really dull art. Yeah. And they're all urban fantasies.
That's a game. That's the game, right? It's like, okay, which one is a screenplay writer trying to sell his stuff in Hollywood, right?
It's always something like some obscure quote that's passed off as the title, like stare into the abyss or something like that.
Right, yeah. Like it's like, it's really it's a genre in and of itself at this point. It's there's the screenplays.
It's the supernatural romance of this era. It's the Twilights of this era.
Well, you know what? There's room for everything. There's room for everything.
There is.
You know, it's like, it's like in and of itself, these weird little genres are fine, but it's when the whole commerce thing takes over, and then everybody feels the pressure of, I have to do it exactly like this if I want to sell my IP, and then it just becomes a different. Then it's not about the art anymore. It's not about telling the story anymore. It's about selling an IP, and that is not why we got into this.
If you're creating something with the intent to get rid of it, you don't care about it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You're not having a child, you're raising chickens.
Yeah, it's not a passion project.
Right, exactly. If your passion project,
it's my passion project. Oh, here it is, $35,000. Oh,
right, really. The second your passion project has a price tag on it, it's no longer a passion project.
So Disney can buy it and crash it.
Right, exactly. Because it needs to be mashed into a gray paste. So.
And I've got to give Nita, is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I gotta give you credit. I'm trying to see your screen. Like, you've got the Max back there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Was that Sandman beside it?
Yeah, Sandman, and the rest
Secret of Nim, which I can tell you had a fucked up childhood.
It was totally
you have to have Watership Down next to that.
It's down there.
Yeah, how many dead rabbits have you seen?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, not to throw a wrench in the conversation.
Oh no,
you live in Louisiana.
Yeah. The Max blew my mind as a kid. I mean, I didn't get all the dark undertones, of course, until later. But that and Ant, I forgot the creator of that. He was like a cool ex-con, and he made a comic called Ant. It was like a girl that was dressed like an ant, and it was like super sexy and super dangerous. I have like issue 1 here somewhere, but those two.
It sounds kind of familiar, but but that's what we're talking about. It's like, these comics that are so left field that we remember them forever. Right.
Well, punk rock is the new establishment, so we need something other than punk, and that's
right. Exactly.
That's the problem.
We need indie comics. Yeah,
because comics have become the mainstream crap. And I don't know, I'm trying to put it in music terms because it's what I understand, but like metal.
Yeah.
Metal has got a billion different genres, and some of them are trash, but they are always reinventing.
Yeah.
And it's always underground because Rolling Stone's never going to give metal bands like good praise. And that's the whole thing. Is like that's what comics need to be. Comics need to be like a middle finger in the face of the
the Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah.
Thank you. But some people try to be.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and your book? Because we're just hitting the top of the hour. So so tell everybody where they can find you and get your stuff. Although we will put links in the
it will be in the show notes.
Yeah.
All right, we're on Instagram and Twitter. Unfortunately, it's
right. Well,
Twitter's an evil necessity.
It is.
Twitter,
it is.
I'm a Twitter whore.
And this is at Legacy Comics with an X. Right.
Yeah. LegacyComics with an X.com is where you can pre-order Apollyon 20XX issue 1. It's an ash can. It's 6 pages, but there's 6 really good pages. We made sure of that. It's 100% done as everything. We're trying to not have to crowdfund anything, so you guys get it directly. It will be in Gemini mailer. So the shipping is what it should be, so people get good quality mailing. But we are on Instagram. We are at Godfoe_universe, and the same thing for Twitter at Godfoe_universe. And I'm gonna promote some other stuff real quick if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Everyone who pre-orders gets 10 unlettered free pages of Volume 1 that's coming out. That's Live Not by Lies of Apollyon 20XX. They get a free song from my band. It's good. It doesn't suck. And we've got a lot of other goodies that we're putting out. We're going to add everyone who orders to a mailing list, and we want that mailing list to be the best thing you get every week. We want to, I'm not trying to shill so much here, but we have been working on this for 10 years. We have tons
Say
of
it with
stuff.
the chest. Say it with the chest. Come on, go ahead.
So we've got all of this stuff we're trying to give you guys. Like I've written something called the Apocrypha, which is called Apollyon 28 The Apocrypha. It's 77 pages. It's images, art, and short stories all together that we're going to give you people. We want to continually entertain and bring everyone into this massive world for as long as we can. We've got stuff for decades planned out.
There you go. There you go. So I want to thank Dan for coming to our show. I want to thank everybody in the chat for keeping it hopping. Thank you.
Sexy.
Yeah, and the 9 mystery people who are still watching us after after all this time. So thank you for joining us. So there we have it. So like I said, all the links will be in the show notes. You can check out his book and the rest of Legacy Comics, a really interesting company out of Brooklyn. Look, it's like we could have a conversation just on why you guys are trying to function outside, or how you're trying to function outside of Kickstarter. But that just means we just get to bring you back. So
I appreciate it.
So on that note, if you want to know more about my work and all the comics that I'm doing, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWRKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But I mostly post to Facebook, where you can see sketches and work in progress and updates. And also, don't forget that I have 2 books on Kickstarter right now with Tall Tales. The campaign is live now, and Eagle Raven on pre-launch. And don't forget that I also have all my videos on my own channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, that streams through the Ragin 2 network. So remember to subscribe, like, share, all the stuff that the algorithm gods require, so that we, everybody can see our stuff.
You are so much better at promotion. I would have thrown up trying to say all that.
Well, it's practice, man. It's practice. It's like I was saying at the very beginning, I couldn't even say my own character's name.
I'm not trying to hold on the time, but I got your LinkedIn request. I don't have LinkedIn, so I want to apologize for not accepting it.
What? LinkedIn? No.
I think somebody sent me a LinkedIn request from you guys.
Oh,
it's probably me.
Oh, okay.
okay.
There we go. That was Nita then.
I'm exploring
then
new
I apologize
platforms
to
for
you
more
then.
promotion.
Well, that's okay. I really suck at friend requests on Facebook, so I have people like just sitting there.
You're still poking people.
Yeah, no, I know. Really, no, I'm really horrible at it. It's like, but the thing is though, if you don't, nobody needs to wait to get on, wait for a friend request from me. Just follow my feed. Everything on there is public, so you don't have to worry about that. So Nita,
Yo,
tell everybody who you are.
Well, they know who I am. Anyway,
Just remind them because it's been an hour.
Okay, well, my name is Nita Lanning. You can find me on Facebook as Nita Lanning. You can find me all over Twitter under the Ragin banners at C_chaos247.
There you go. So there we go. So we're at the end of another show. Again, I'd like to thank Dan for coming on. And and you can catch us again on Friday at another episode of the Ragin 2 Network, where probably another
we will be launching. Nope.
Not
this Friday.
Right. No incoherent rants. We will be launching the Oswald Chronicles. If I were a few inches taller. Because that's how I am on Monday. Look, it's like, look, this is what I have to have in front of me, or else I do not know what day it is.
And don't forget 11 p.m. to midnight, sexy fun time on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, it's like 10 p.m. to midnight. It's a 2-hour thing. Although Nita is has a time zone issue. So that's
I'll
right.
fuck that up.
Yeah,
all right.
It's fine. It's fine. Look, everything's the show.
Tell people what to do, Daphne. Tell them what to
okay.
do.
So at the end of this, all I can, although hashtag create or die is pretty good. So so remember, everybody, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you do the work, you never have to fake your accomplishments. So on that note, we will see you next time.
We're out of here.